This has been the week from hell for the WNBA. It's all going downhill and going downhill fast. You know what they say, karma is a B-I-T-C-H, and Cathy Engelbert, karma knocking on your front door.
I know the WNBA is hurting for views. We all know they looking real spooky in the view department since Caitlin been gone. This could be an act. I'm not saying that it is, but this right here looks spooky.
If Dildos hadn't been thrown on the floor, nobody would be talking about you right now.
That's my question. Do you think it's a psyop to actually increase their viewership? Because I think people now, they're tuning in not for the passing, not for the team, but they're tuning in for the lime green dildo.
The WNBA's attention-grabbing scandal has fans laughing, players reacting, and rumors flying. But behind the scenes, whispers claim Commissioner Cathy Engelbert was the mastermind, unleashing the dildo to mask a steep ratings crash after caitlinclark's injury. If true, it's the strangest game plan ever drawn up.
The biggest punishment you can give me is not to ban me. The biggest man is Steve Kim. Now you're going to every WNBA game. That alone would scare me straight to never do this. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to be a WNBA fan, the last thing you want to do is actually get thrown out, right? So yeah, I think there's no doubt that whoever's doing this is trolling, and I believe looks at the league as a bit of a joke.
The first thing that jumps out is the timing. These bizarre incidents didn't happen when Caitlinclark was lighting up the court and filling arenas. They started right after she was sidelined. One week, the conversation was all about her assists, shooting splits, and impact. The next week, lime green objects bouncing onto the floor. In sports, timing often tells the real story. When a league loses its top draw and ratings take a hit, someone in charge starts thinking, how do we get people talking again? And suddenly, here comes a streak of incidents strange enough to dominate every sports headline for days. That's not just a coincidence. In a league where Clark was the one player consistently boosting attendance, you have to ask yourself, why now? Let's be real about the numbers. Before Clark's injury, the Fever were selling out or coming close in almost every city. National broadcasts were pulling viewership that the WNBA hadn't seen in years. Then, the moment she's unavailable, ratings sink hard. Without that built-in star power, the league had a huge problem. Bored fans tuning out. And in the entertainment business, especially sports, the worst thing that can happen is silence. The numbers told Engelbert exactly what she didn't want to see. A product that, without Clark, struggled to keep people engaged. That creates desperation, and desperate leadership looks for any way, any storyline to get eyeballs back on the games. This is where the rumor gets interesting. Cathy Engelbert has always pushed for the league to take risks in marketing. She's talked openly about capturing moments and sparking attention. If you believe the whispers, this wasn't about an actual basketball storyline. This was about creating something outrageous enough that even people who don't follow the sport would want to see what's going on. It's the oldest trick in the book. When your product can't compete on quality in the short term, compete on controversy. And in a league where the NBA's financial backing comes with an unspoken pressure to perform, Engelbert may have decided that shock value was the fastest way to plug the ratings leak.
It's okay. Oh my gosh. Are you okay? Did it hit you?
Absolutely nothing to say.
Oh my gosh.
What is wrong with you? Have a nice day.
Here's the detail that makes this feel less like random chaos and more like a coordinated stunt. Every single incident involved the exact same type of lime green object. Not red, not black, not multicolor, always lime green. In pro sports, patterns matter. If this were truly random, you'd expect variation. But the brand consistency here is almost too perfect, like a calling card. And the question becomes, how did these keep getting past security? These weren't small items you could hide in your pocket without notice. Which leads right into the next point. Either security failed multiple times in a row, or someone told them to let it slide.
Is this a supporter of the league? Or is this somebody trying to sabotage the league? Because if you're that type, if that's you, that takes some real brains. That takes some real thoughtful planning. You must have been up all night trying to write this plan. How do I sabotage the league? Well, we have a wig on the floor. We got the ratings falling off a cliff. What's next? beautiful. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Anyone who's been to a WNBA arena knows the drill. Bag checks, metal detectors, and sometimes even pat-downs. Yet somehow, over and over, the same object made it to the court. That's not just bad luck, that's a breakdown in procedure. If you've got league officials under pressure to create a viral moment, it's not hard to imagine someone quietly telling arena security to ease up in certain areas. Think about it. A rogue fan pulling this off once is believable. Doing it multiple times in multiple venues without being caught immediately, that starts to look like a green light from higher up. When you're trying to keep a league in the news cycle, the playbook is simple. Create a bizarre moment, capture emotional reactions, and let the debate do the rest. In this case, the WNBA got days of coverage without a single highlight play being the centerpiece. It's not about whether you like it or hate it, it's about the fact you're talking about it. That's exactly what Engelbert needed during Clark's absence. A sport that struggles for mainstream coverage suddenly had late-night talk show hosts and national sports radio discussing the incident. Controversy sells, and this controversy was tailor-made to grab attention. One thing that stood out was how differently players reacted. Some looked annoyed, sure, but others, like Sophie Cunningham, were caught laughing. Angel Reese even joked about it publicly. It's almost as if some players knew it was a harmless setup, not a real security threat. In pro sports, when players genuinely believe something is dangerous, the tone shifts immediately. You see anger, you see confrontation, you see play stopped in protest. That wasn't the vibe here. Instead, there was this strange mix of fake outrage for the cameras and inside jokes between players. This wouldn't be the first time the WNBA leaned on drama over the actual game. From highly publicized rivalries to controversial marketing campaigns, they've shown a willingness to put theatrics front and center. That's not unique to them. Leagues all over the world do it. But the difference here is the extremity of the stunt. And when you consider the WNBA's ongoing fight for market share, it makes sense they'd look for something outrageous to cut through the noise. If the NBA gets people talking with blockbuster trades, the WNBA might be willing to settle for an unforgettable headline. Love it or hate it, this incident became the #1 conversation about the league all season. It even overshadowed actual games being played. In pure marketing terms, that's a win. Sponsors heard the WNBA's name. People who never watched a second of women's basketball now knew something about it. Whether Engelbert planned it or not, the league's relevance spike during this period is undeniable. Short term, that keeps the lights on and the conversation going. The question is whether the stunt's impact outlives the spectacle itself. If this really was an orchestrated move from the commissioner's office, it's a dangerous game. You risk alienating loyal fans, embarrassing players, and damaging the league's credibility. The WNBA has been fighting for years to be seen as a serious sports product. Pulling a stunt like this could undo progress in an instant. On the flip side, it may prove that in today's media landscape, attention, any attention, is the most valuable currency. So was this a bold, calculated move from Cathy Engelbert, or a desperate roll of the dice from a league that can't afford to fade from the spotlight? That's the question every fan should be asking right now.